Hello, it's a Wild Hunt Wednesday, and we're going to be covering a few monster decks in our weekly wrap up here. I've got two that I've made over this past season, and then two more decks that I've been playtesting on Twitch. I'm just going to be covering the first two for my own decks. If you want to see the other two, come follow me on Twitch, jump onto a Twitch stream, request them anytime. I pretty much play per request on Twitch. So if you want to watch me get wrecked playing with some weird card combo, that's the place to do it. I think the other two decks we have here, Organic Removal version 2 and Ophiri Deathwish, have been pretty good. Ophiri Deathwish getting a little bit more traction right now. Something I would really recommend. Definitely a different Overwhelming Hunger using Weavis, Frightener, Naglfar for some consistency, and then a bunch of Deathwish cards to do some cool stuff, and then Redea to give you that extra Urn of Shadows if you get a good lineup, especially with Harpy's Egg or Rot Fiend. I find to be really good cadence, really good tempo. Highly recommended if that's something you are into. Monsters right now aren't my absolute favorite, but we're going to cover some of the other decks that are out there in the current meta. Organic Removal is a really good deck if you're just looking to get some good tempo with Kikamor Queen, Karen Thier, Mata giving you that consistency with some point play as well. Just makes it a really solid all-around deck with a lot of removal that can help you keep up with some of these pure removal decks. So, with that said, let's jump over to a few other decks. Now, if you've seen for the rest of this week, go ahead, get over to playgwent.com, click on decks, click on monsters. These are trending decks right now. I'm going to run through some of them, plus a few that are just on YouTube. But Ophiri Deathwish is on here. Upvote it, please. But a bunch of other really fun decks. So let's run you through and check those out. So first, Deathwish deck by Thea Beastie. I think a lot of people are seeing this. Honestly, for me, this wasn't like a new how-to deck video, but more of just like a refresh on how everybody's been playing Overwhelming Hunger with Haunt. If you know me, you know I don't love Oberon. I think that the consistency just isn't there. He's a little clunky. If they could give him make one of 3 in second round with Wild Hunt Riders of make one of 3 that you already have in your deck, then I think he deserves a second look. But right now, playing down for 5 points is just not enough. Jumping over Ophiri Deathwish, you guys, I just ran through that one a little bit, but I do really like this deck. It is pretty fun. Just ignore Weavis' disgusting eyeball situation. I do have Trypophobia. It's a real thing. Look it up. Devotion Wild Control is a deck by Cantarella. There's a pretty similar here. I'd say big difference. This one's more of a Frost deck with Wild Hunt, but using Caraspis leader ability to get some protection for Eridan. But check it out if that's something that's interesting to you. I recommend it. Just know that it's in Russian. So for my Russian friends out there, check that out. And correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I don't read Cyrillic super well and don't know differences in language, so let me know if it's not. Fuchsia Briefs has a really fun deck here with Oneiromancy, Ritual Sacrifice. No units for you. It's just like a pure removal deck that you can do some nasty stuff with. Get Jotun down for a lot of points. He always makes spicy decks. I like him. Next, we have Cheddar Paul has a really highly rated deck, Overwhelming Hunger. This is basically the same thing. Detlef here as a big point play that you can use with the leader ability in a tight situation for a lot of tempo. But he's built in Werecat as well for some decent removal. So, little this, little that. You can make stuff. Here's like a Lechin Force of Nature deck if you're looking for thrives. That Force of Nature comes down, the Woodland Spirit for 9 points, so really good value. And helps to proc a lot of the thrives. Can also get you better consistency with your riders and your hound. Not my favorite, but it is an option. Next, and probably the last from the Plague Gwent decks, this one is just like a Bandit's Blood Scent deck. Which I just found to be really intriguing. I wish they had video of how they did it. But Carlo obviously is one of a longtime favorite for a lot of players for doing a lot of damage straight up. really early on. But lots of flexibility in this deck with some fun plays. Here's a Caraspis video. This is based off of Freddie Babes' Siri. This is a Keltalist deck. If you watch me on stream, you know I've encountered this a couple of times. It's pretty easy to play around once you know what's going on. It does use Siri Dash and Siri to get some consistency and also to take card advantage. But it's a little bit weird and it's a little bit clunky in some respects. I do think Pact is a good way of getting some points. Nobody's using Will-O-Wisp right now to destroy doomed units, and nobody is certainly using Gauntero Dim because you have to wait for him second turn to destroy something. I kind of wish Doomed was like Poison, where if you had it twice, then it triggers the death of a unit. Then you could use Pact offensively as well, and then I think maybe this could be like 4, like boost by 4 and do damage. I think that would be kind of a fun card, where you can kind of like choose one or the other. Last but not least, Siri Nova Vampire deck with 64% win rate by Singularity is getting a lot of traction. A lot of people really like this deck with Siri Nova and Naglfar. Old Spear Tip I find a bit weird and a bit clunky, but Oriana, Protoflater with Blood Scent are really good synergies. Alzur's Thunder I don't love, especially since you already carry Parasite. Alzur's Thunder like a little bit more necessary in other decks, specifically Nilfgaard, because Assassination can get pushed down to only 4 damage if you put a unit between 2 other units. So, but it is a fun option. So anyway, I think that kind of rounds out most of the decks that I have seen. If you guys have seen something else you want me to include, please let me know. Please post it up in the comments. But I think, personally, Monsters isn't really in my top. I think the only other place that I would look, as we've looked to before, just the TLG meta and the Aretusa meta. I just forgot to pull those up. They do have one deck each there. I believe in tier 2 we have Frost Hunger, Overwhelming Hunger, using some of the Frost cards with Ardgaith. Really similar. Devil Driven is pushing that deck. So anyway, one that's available there, but that's really the only one they have. Nilfgaard carrying up the bottom, which we're going to cover tomorrow. And then there is the same Monsters Overwhelming Hunger deck on Team Aretusa. So not a lot of diversity, especially for Monsters right now. Overwhelming Hunger kind of being the only deck that's being used right now. I think it's clunky. I think once people have played against it, they know what to do, and it's pretty easy to play around. You can tempo up and tempo down against it, depending on which round it is and how you want to push it. So anyway, but I hope that you guys liked this video. If you did, please leave a like. If you like the content I've been pushing out, always subscribe, and then check out my Twitch channel as well. Please leave a follow there. You'll get updates whenever I go live, and then just leave requests. Come have some fun with us. Put it on in the background while you're working on something else. It's a good time. And I don't do long streams just because I'm somebody who likes to just get in, get something done for an hour, and just hang out with you guys. So, but anyway, let me know what you guys think. And until next time, good luck on the path. Get out there and keep on gwenting.